Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So in this video I'll be making some leather strops. These are really useful for giving a mirror finish and that finishing touch to make your blades really sharp. Blades such as knives, chisels and hand plane cutting irons. So I recently bought a new set of diamond plates, coarse, medium and fine grit for sharpening, and I also bought this block of green polishing compound. So all I needed now was a strop for the end of the sharpening process. So to make the strops I decided to use this salvaged piece of blockboard. It's nice and flat and I can't think of anything else I could do with it, and I should be able to get 2 rows off this piece. I'm going to make the strop the same size as these plates, and it was around 19mm thick, so just the right thickness too. I started off by ripping a clean edge on the table saw, and then I could rip down 2 lengths for the thickness of the strops. And with this amount of wood I should be able to get 8 strops in total. Now I could just trim off the edges because they were a little rough. I marked up the areas with the speed square. And then cut them with the mitre gauge. Now to cut the equal lengths, I've got a block of wood there on the fence and I'm making the cuts one after the other with the mitre gauge. And for the last cut I used a clamp to keep the workpiece secure for safety. Then I gave them all a quick sanding down just to remove all the rough edges with an 80 grit sandpaper. So there were a few cracks and imperfections in the blockboard, so I mixed up some wood filler with some wood glue and sawdust from the sander. Now for the top I've got this leather that I salvaged from an old sofa. I'm going to glue it down shiny side down, so I'm just roughing up the surface here again with the sandpaper. Now I can work out where I need to make the cuts just by drawing around each piece of wood with a Sharpie pen, and then I could just roughly cut out these pieces with some scissors. To attach the leather to the wood I used some spray adhesive and I just sprayed it on each piece of leather and wood liberally, gave it about a minute to go tacky, and then I could add the wood to the leather and press down firmly. The first one I clamped up in the vise, and for the others I just added plenty of weight to squash them down. For one of the strops I'm going to add a piece of wood to the bottom so that it can be clamped into a vise. So I have this scrap offcut of pine here, and I just marked up the area that I want to cut out. Then I made some marks with the combination square so that later on I can centralise this piece of wood and attach it to the strop. Then I marked out where I want to drill some pilot holes. I quickly gave it a sanding down to remove any rough edges. I'll be attaching the small drywall screws. I use the drill press to drill the pilot holes and also countersink the holes. Once the glue was dry, I could start cutting out or cutting off the excess leather with a utility knife, and this worked well. The spray adhesive did a good job at securing the leather to the wood. Once that was done, I could just clean up the edges with the knife. Now to attach that piece of wood, I added some wood glue . And then drove in the screws. I could then remove any excess glue squeeze out and just clean up the edges with some sandpaper. For the finish, I just used some boiled linseed oil. This should help to keep the wood clean. And then I could remove any excess oil with a cloth. Now to give the strop a test, I'm going to be testing the one that can be clamped into the vise. This keeps it nice and secure while you're using it. I loaded it up with the green polishing compound, and this one's designed for stainless steel. The products I'm using in this video can be bought on Amazon, so I'll leave my Amazon affiliate links down in the description box if you're interested. I tested out the strop on a hand plane cutting iron. And I got a nice mirror finish. And also on a chisel. The workshop was quite cold, so this would work better on a warmer day. And again, a nice mirror finish on the chisel. So that was the strops complete. I might sell the rest. I'm not sure what I'll do with them yet, but it was a fun project. Okay, so that is about it for this video. These came out pretty good in the end. They work really well. I used some old salvage block board and some salvage leather from an old sofa, so the cost of making this was practically nothing, and they do the job really well. Really useful just to give that finishing touch to an edge of a blade and make it super sharp and give it a mirror finish. So if you did find this video useful, please remember to like and also consider subscribing for more DIY related videos. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.